people are literally growing up and their main source of like, not parenting, but like it really is just their iPad, and they're just on their iPad all day watching this. And then those companies know, like Cocomelon knows this, and they're literally just using them as views and just hacking their adolescent brain, dog. This is crazy work. Like, actually should be illegal. So SunnyV2 just came out with a video. It's called Cocomelon, the most evil channel on YouTube. Yo, Cocomelon? Cocomelon. It has to do something with the kids, right? Let's see why. I mean, they made billions of dollars off of kids, bro. We gotta see why.
My son is almost 2 and I've been letting him watch Cocomelon.
Yeah?
But now I had to get him speech therapy so I can get him to talk.
What?
There are hundreds and hundreds of anecdotes in which parents mention the exact same problem. The Cocomelon show is so insanely addictive, it's being compared to nicotine and causing developmental issues amongst the kids who can't stop watching. Children's TV expert.
Wait, so kids are actually becoming dumber because they watch Cocomelon? Oh my goodness.
Jerica Sands calls it the most damaging show a child can watch, explaining the sneaky ways in which they make the show addictive. Firstly, there's the colors. Take for example the wheels on the bus. The 3 main colors, blue, green, and yellow, are all at maximum saturation, meaning they cannot be made any brighter, no matter how hard you try. Extreme saturation is normally used for alerts and notifications, as it's exciting, dynamic, and attracts attention, which is why it's also used in slot machines. Cocomelon puts these colors in perfect contrast, making them appear even more vibrant, which is different to, for example, Bluey, in which the colors instead blend together. Cocomelon's also different because it's highly repetitive. There's a reason they have 38 videos with over 1 billion views.
Damn! These iPad kids are screwed! What the hell? Oh my god! Billions!
A child's brain is wired to learn through repetition, so it feels right to them to watch the same thing over
I'm not gonna lie, yo, every single time I see a kid out there or a baby out there watching a YouTube video on their iPad, it's Cocomelon.
Again, Cocomelon abuses this in almost every video. For example, in the Yes Yes Playground song, they pick a word to repeat 3 times in every sentence, pairing it with a subtly repeating background lullaby, keeping children hooked.
Oh my
Literally
god.
No show or movie puts my son into a deep trance the way Cocomelon does. The second it's on the TV, he turns into a toddler zombie who doesn't see or hear anything else that's going on in the room. This is only exacerbated.
And then I could definitely see people wanting to put on Cocomelon because, one, like, people don't want to parent and you know pay attention to the kids all the time because like they can get exhausting. So you put on Cocomelon and your kid just becomes like numb. That's like a super drug.
By Cocomelon subtitles, which have also been a heavy point of criticism. The letters are not educational, I can barely read them fast enough. It's simply another interesting element to capture your little one's attention.
Oh my god.
Cocomelon explains in every description, our goal is to help make learning a fun and enjoyable experience for kids, giving you the peace of mind that your children are receiving quality educational content. But people have argued that they're teaching exactly what children shouldn't do. For example, in the No Bedtime song, the baby refuses to brush his teeth, have a bath, put on pajamas, or get in bed. The education is that he eventually agrees to do so, yet a TikTok user was critical, stating, anytime I'd ask my son to do a simple task, he'd say no, no, no. He's sitting there watching Cocomelon, which taught him no, 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 and
yeah, because they're just repeating what they see.
On the topic of education, Jerica Sands stated, these people don't give a shit about our children. They care about money.
Yes.
That's it.
It always comes down to money, y'all. Look, whenever you really comes down to it and you're like, huh, why are they doing? Always money. Always money.
Cognitive development in direct exchange for their wealth, and there's pretty good evidence supporting this. A New York Times journalist visited Cocomelon's studio, discovering their #1 focus is keeping children hooked. Cocomelon's data and analytics team sifts constantly through YouTube numbers to determine exactly what resonates. Should a girl wear black jeans or blue jeans? Should the music be louder or softer? Should the bus be yellow or red? Yellow is the answer, as they use a darker method to ensure that they're correct. Cocomelon has a dedicated Distractotron room in which once a month children are brought here one at a time and shown a handful of episodes to figure out exactly which parts of the shows are engaging and which are tuned out. Next to the TV playing Cocomelon, there's a second screen which plays a continuous loop of banal real-world scenes. A guy pouring a cup of coffee, someone getting a haircut, each lasting about 20 seconds. Whenever a youngster looks away from the Moonbug show to glimpse the Distractotron, a note is jotted down. We can
Bro! Nah, this is crazy. This is diabolical.
see what they're looking at and the exact moment when they got
They're
distracted.
literally running tests on children, specifically babies, to make sure that what they're watching is like 100% addicting and that they'll have no choice but to watch it because their brains don't know any better, so they're just like so focused. This is crazy. No, this is like super brain rot.
Therefore, education clearly isn't the primary goal.
It's getting them to watch. Yup, exactly. Getting them to watch.
By Cocomelon's most addictive element, rapid camera cutting.
Look, guys, I just want to say they did not just happen to get billions of views, right? Their videos aren't so good, it just happens to get billions of views, dog. Oh, man.
It's crazy how many times the frame changes on Cocomelon. It's the same type of addicting behavior that we experience on a TikTok binge. It's the quick change of frame that releases that dopamine and makes the videos addicting to watch. Count the seconds between a change of frame. Well, TikToker the Circus Brain did exactly this. He firstly counts the changes on My Little Pony, concluding there's about 6 seconds between each cut. He then compares it to Cocomelon.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
Damn!
2, 1.
Damn!
2, 1.
Damn!
2, 1.
In her video, The Nightmare That Is Cocomelon, Savantix draws a similar conclusion. She found that 96% of the shots in Baby Shark were shorter than 2 seconds. She then compares 4 different animated shows, again finding Cocomelon has the shorter shots.
The longest shot on a Cocomelon video was 6 seconds. The longest shot on Arcane was 8 seconds. The longest shot on Bluey was 27 seconds. And the longest shot on Encanto...
The longest? Wait, really? The longest shot on Arcane's 8 seconds? That
was 18 seconds.
Which, when combined with every other element, creates some terrifying statistics. Dr. Kristen Summer explained that when showing an infant normal video content, they'll focus on the screen just 11% of the time. However, when the video is instead switched to Cocomelon, their screen engagement skyrockets to a whopping 74%.
Oh my god!
This therefore produces stories such as this.
Oh my god, they've hacked the kids, bro. This is 100. And I don't want to not blame it on parenting, but it's just because like with this new generation, with like they call it the iPad kids, right? But like it's really like people are literally growing up and their main source of like not parenting, but like it really is just their iPad, and they're just on their iPad all day watching this. And then those companies know, like Cocomelon knows this, and they're literally just using them as views and just hacking their adolescent brain, dog. This is crazy work. Like actually should be illegal.
I used to volunteer for a preschool and they had song time. A Cocomelon video came on and all of the tots stopped what they were doing, put down their cheese crackers, and remained fixated on the screen for the duration of the video. It was honestly kind of terrifying. YouTuber Saberspark shared his own personal anecdote. He asked to watch a Disney movie with his 2 younger cousins, who both completely refused, and instead spent all day glued to an iPad playing the addictive show. In Cocomelon Made My Kid a Zombie, a mother talks about her son. He would be in a daze while watching it.
I kind of want to. I need to see someone. I need to see this. I need to see this in real life. I need to see the effect in real life.
And he wouldn't move. It was almost scary. This was also discovered by Sarah Mills 98, who explained when the Cocomelon addiction is so real that my 1-year-old can navigate the TV to turn it on by himself.
No.
However, nothing shows the addiction better than the Cocomelon TikTok trend. Parents will play the show's intro loudly and video their kids sprinting toward the television, where you can witness their mood change instantly. The New York Times journalist found something similar. The kid in the Distractotron had shown up in the midst of a tantrum, which ended the second he heard the Cocomelon theme song. It was no surprise to Wheeler, the head of research.
This is why it almost encourages parents to do this. Because as a parent, like it's exhausting taking care of your kids. So you're just like, oh, I just want to break. And it's like a cheat code. I can turn on this video, and this video will work. 90% of the time, it's just gonna shut my kid up. And you always have that button right next to you, but the button is destructive to the kid. But you always have it right next to you, and you just it's so shitty. Cocomelon really does ADHD shit. Yeah, I feel like this is gonna fuck up kids.
99% of kids, he said, if they're having issues when they get here, once that Cocomelon song comes on, they're like, life is okay.
Oh, this is
good with
crazy.
the world. Obviously,
this will have
there's a
long-term
reason
effects.
for this.
I
Cocomelon
don't
is
doubt
so
that.
hyperstimulating that it actually acts as a drug, and what happens when you take the drug away. Young children experiencing symptoms of addiction and withdrawal, obviously leaving them completely dysregulated. TikTok user ThePoff1 filmed what happens when you take the show away, explaining he'll be inconsolable for at least 10 to 15 minutes after. And in the description, Cocomelon meltdown is legit. Once you have a taste of the cocoa, it's hard to break the addiction, which this Reddit user had experienced even worse. My husband and I have been worried about our child. I can slowly see how she'd throw violent tantrums at home and in church whenever she'd get bored and would want to watch the show. Her behavior changes the moment she watches the show, and she will not even eat her meals if she wouldn't watch it. After these tantrums end, kids can experience a general discomfort in the speed of everyday life. The more they watch the show, the more their brain begins to expect this intense level of stimulation.
Basically, Cocomelon overstimulates their brains so much that everything else just seems slow and boring in comparison.
However, the potential
because it's just cutting in and out.
Get much worse than this.
This is just like Mr. Beast saying, like, in the beginning of his videos, he's always like trying to get as much stuff to happen in the beginning as possible because it gets you hooked. So that low-key means it kind of works on adults.
At the start, it was the cause of a child's speaking problems, with a notable reply reading, same thing happened with my daughter too. She's 4 but can't speak properly. She knows the words, but she does not like to frame the sentence or speech. She has been watching these Cocomelons or such other stuffs for 2 or 3 years. Hope we're not too late. Over on Reddit, a speech language pathologist explained, screen time in general is linked with speech delays for a variety of reasons, but Cocomelon is excessively bad. Firstly, unlike other TV shows or movies, it doesn't have a story. It's just very short clips with poorly written songs. The kids aren't able to follow the plot, learn vocabulary, and see the resolution of a conflict, supported by infant specialist Meg Fora.
And the problem with fast-paced TV programs is that we find that little one's language development is slower.
On the Agents of Speech YouTube channel, this is again confirmed.
The main problem with watching videos on the internet is that they don't know how to use the language that they learn.
But he adds that 4 to 5 hours of screen time per day can make a toddler completely non-verbal. 4 to 5 hours is obviously a lot of time, but in Cocomelon Made My Kid a Zombie, researchers discovered that 5-year-olds who watch more than 2 hours of TV a day tended to have lower attention spans and were 7.7 times more likely to show symptoms of ADHD.
No way.
Their screen times might be even lower for Cocomelon specifically, because as explained by Jerica Sands, not all screen time is created equal. A child who just watched 30 minutes of Cocomelon and a child who just watched 30 minutes of Trash Truck will look like a
They should do that. Okay, this would be messed up, but maybe for like a year, this would be a crazy experiment. For a year, show Cocomelon only to one kid as like a means of like distraction or whatever, and then the other year, for 1 year, have another kid only play with toys or only watch another show like this trash truck show, and then see how like they are afterwards, right? Like, is one of them more like aggressive, throws tantrums? Like, I would actually be shocked. Or is it just a baby thing? I'm not sure. But that would be cool to see.
Different child.
It would be messed up though for the kids.
Here lies a simple solution. Sierra Renee explained, my 2-year-old is speech delayed and addicted to Cocomelon. Switched to Miss Rachel 2 days ago, and he's already saying more words and hasn't had any tantrums. Kim.it shared an almost identical anecdote. My 8-month-old was obsessed with Cocomelon and having bad tantrums, so I cancelled Cocomelon and only let her watch Miss Rachel, and she said her first word within the
Miss Rachel getting good advertising off of this.
Are able to simply change the channel, but not before leaving Cocomelon a massive amount of dislikes.
We like that.
They've therefore earned the title, the absurdly popular kid show parents hate, and Cocomelon has actually responded to the criticism that explain our shows are not intended to replace outdoor playtime or playdates. They have a place in children's entertainment time, and as with food, exercise, etc.
They did respond. I was wondering about this, if they actually ever came out.
To find the right and appropriate balance for their children. Our responsibility is ensuring that the quality of the content that
Hell
we
no.
produce is high and beneficial.
It is not. They know what they're doing, dog. They know exactly what they're doing. It is not for the benefit of the kid. It's trying to, their goal, they're a business, and their goal entirely is how can we get kids to watch this show so we can get the numbers up. Anything that they can do to get the numbers up, that's what they're going to do. They do not care about the kids. Come on, let's be honest.
For the development of a
Who
child's
are they trying to play right now?
soft skills. It is worth adding that our social media communities are filled with stories of parents who experience firsthand how Moonbug content helps their children. Cocomelon does have a crazy amount of supporters, but it's obvious that some of them are simply ignoring the downsides. My baby learned the alphabet and numbers from Cocomelon. She may not speak a complete sentence, but she expresses her wants through phrases. But is it Cocomelon's responsibility to ensure that babies are talking? Well, no. People love blaming cartoons and games for raising children, and not the shitty parents that don't step in to stop them.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, at the end of the day, it's up to the parents, because who's in real control of this? The parents. The parents are. So I would say once you learn, I mean, it's not their fault for first. Once again, it's such an easy button to have on the side that just completely like shuts off your infant, right? But as a parent, you have to like realize at some point, especially once you find out that you need to pull them out of this, right? I kind of get it in the beginning, you don't know, and everyone's watching Cocomelon, it's all good, right? But once you figure this out, you gotta do it, okay? You just gotta do it.
Cocomelon is actually a really sad symbol of parents giving their children tablets instead of
Yep.
actually parenting
Yep.
and interacting.
Exactly.
With them.
I'm telling you, people are. Oh, is that it? Hold on.
Ultimately, parents are the people who choose how much their
Bro.
child consumes.
True. W video, yo, Sunny. So true. I never know. I mean, I always thought that shit was brain rot. I've seen parents play that for their kids, and their kids are just staring there all day. And I totally get it. Like, if you guys have ever like had a kid, or you guys have ever seen a parent with a kid, that's just exhausting. It's a lot of time. You got to put in a lot of hours. They're just gonna be crying and stuff. And once again, when you have this little magical iPad that will just shut them up for hours, it's hard not to just want to play that, right? So like, I totally get like parents doing it, but once you find out this shit is bad, like, you gotta stop that.